So you might be thinking, doesn't this old fart have something better to do with his time than make these ridiculous videos? Well, the answer is no. I don't. And I enjoy it. So if you don't like it, take a hike. Take a long hike up a short pier, as they used to say. All right. I don't know about the latency on this one. Seems to be some latency between my lips and the voice, so I'm real tired of messing with the sound on this little Manjaro laptop I got. I have to constantly adjust the latency, and so fuck it. I'm not gonna. Anyway, I wanted to talk about I haven't talked about disgusting DiSantos for a while, but I got to talk about him because I saw his first, ad run for governor, and it's slick as snot. I mean, he's making himself look out. I mean, shit. He's like sweeter than Jesus, or as sweet. There's something that's really always bothered me about him. He's the main big, don't mess with the children, and we're programming our children, and we're doing this, and we're doing that. He's always surrounded by children like under 10 years old, always, constantly. He's always got them having admiring looks at him, and it doesn't matter what he does. And you look at all the pictures, he's got to gather these innocent children that know nothing of politics, or I would dare say give a shit about politics. And there he's got them all propped up, part of his scene, part of his scenery, a prop for his political campaign. It's just, it's friggin' weird to me. It really is pretty weird. I forget the word that they, these Republicans use, because I tune a lot of that shit out. But, it starts with a P. I want to, not pretending, because that's what the Republicans are doing. They're pretending that they're righteous people. And they're not. They're just, gold digging, freaking scammers that are just running games, man, trying to make that money, That's pretty much all they're doing. And DeSantis is no, I mean, there's so many things about DeSantis that I could talk about. I'd like to go down to the Everglades and just take pictures of just the ridiculous, rampant neglect. And here's a little environmental story of DeSantos. During the crisis, and there was a little news blurb about this. The cruise ships weren't going to Key West. I don't know if they actually park on the island of Key West, but in the island chains of the Keys. So they had to stop. They stopped for about a year. During the main lockdown. So the residents of Key West noticed that all of a sudden the water around there got way cleaner. And there was no garbage floating in the water. And the people that, take care of the, or monitor the coral reefs in that area, which, by the way, the coral reefs coming out of the end, the length of the key it's seconded by another coral reef off the coast of Belize. And I think that's only second to the Great Barrier Reef. So these are large, giant organisms that are growing. So these big cruise ships would come in, and just tear them up, and then relieve themselves. They just pull the lever and dump all the shit and piss and garbage off their boat. And for some reason, they don't give a shit if it's recyclable or not. They just dump it. So the citizens of Key West, seeing that their beautiful little paradise, and I've been there. It's a funky paradise, but it is kind of beautiful, especially the chickens. Anyway, decided, well, look, let's not allow these huge cruise ships to come in. So what they did is they said, you can bring in cruise ships, but they can only be about, I don't know what the capacity is, but a lot smaller, 1,000 people or something. And they were bringing in these huge, like 3,000, 4,000 people monster ships. So everything was cool. They were bringing these cruises in. The cruise line was complaining about it because they obviously weren't making as much money as they used to. So the Miami Herald did a story on this whole thing. Turns out that cruise ship line, I can't think of the name of it, popped $1 million into DiSantos's pocket. And all of a sudden, DiSantos completely overrode the wishes of the people of, the Keys, and bam, here they are. So here comes the big cruise ships are coming back in, tearing up the coral reefs and dumping tons of garbage into the water around the Keys. So, if you like going swimming in tourist shit and piss and food scraps and whatever else, I guess that's cool. And who gives a shit about the coral reefs, right? Fuck them. They're not making anybody any money. The old Portuguese spongers, they're done. Because the sponge population died out a long time ago. It's just disgusting how we destroy our environment and don't give a shit. But, DiSantos, who cares? He doesn't care. He wants to pretend like he's saving Florida and doing all this crap, and he's nothing but another, money grubbing chud who's just trying to get and like I've said before, chud, I have no idea what that means, I just say it. So, anyway, DiSantos is a piece of crap. Charlie Crist, I'm not going to go, hey, yeah, Ray, yeah, Charlie Crist. Although, when he was a Republican and he was in charge as our governor, he actually did things and helped pass legislation that were protecting the waters of the not the Okefenokee, that's the swamp that's just north of me, Lake Okeechobee, and which is part of the river system that flows into the Everglades. And north of Lake Okeechobee is where all the huge farming industry is in Florida. It just dumps their crap into the rivers, creeks, all around there, and into Lake Okeechobee, and that whole South Florida thing. And not to mention Miami just keeps encroaching onto the Everglades and draining portions of it, and it's just a mess. Anyway, enough of that. Let's talk about this just happened in the last couple of weeks where he's about his new task force. He's always got a fucking task force or new military thing. And the girl who's running against Matt Gaetz over there in Okaloosa County, it's the ass end of the Panhandle. It actually goes from Escambia County, which is borders north and west Alabama. I mean, of that county, north is Alabama and west is Alabama. And then it comes all the way down, I think, to Bay County, which is like near Panama City. So it's a huge area. It's the whole, like, north, panhandle of Florida. So she was in charge in the beginning. She worked for the government and she was tracking the COVID deaths. So I don't know if you remember this, but in the first year of the COVID deaths, DeSantis came in, told her to shut up, and she wouldn't do it. So she got up around 60,000 deaths, and DeSantis came in and shut her down, raided her house, put this girl in jail for just doing the count and the amount of the deaths from COVID. And this is where doctors confirmed deaths. This isn't the people they found dead in trailers and shit like that, which the local coroners were not going to go, oh, yeah, this was from COVID, or whatever. So she is now running against Matt Gaetz. So she's got my support 100%. And her name is Rebecca Jones. So she's running a campaign over there. I think she's raised a pretty good amount of money. Of course, it's not going to stack up against Matt Gaetz's treasure chest. But if anybody wants to see Matt Gaetz go down like me, send this woman, Rebecca Jones, $10 for her campaign or $5 or whatever you can afford, It's totally worth it. She's a sweet little young woman, and she would be great in Congress. She's conscientious. She's smart. She's got a good attitude about the whole thing. I think that her life has been threatened. So, kudos on her, because you got to remember this whole Republican Trump thing is a gangster organization. They have hitmen. They've already taken out Epstein. They've already, he's buddies with Crown Prince Whopper Chopper and all that, So murder's nothing for these people if they can figure out a way to get away with it. Murder is nothing. Republicans actually, I think, love murdering people. That's what they're talking about in their churches and their political campaigns, and they want to murder people. They want to murder black people. They want to murder indigenous folks and Hispanic, whatever, Mexicans. And then they want to old people that are, or young people, whatever. But Democrats like me, which I don't know if we're in a minority in the white community. I guess we are, which is shocking to me. I'm shocked. But anyway, Rebecca Jones, give her $5. And then we talked about DeSantis arresting those 20 people. Now, this cost the taxpayers of Florida, I forget how many millions, 10 million, 20 million, to pull this really ridiculous sting operation, which equates to $250,000 per arrest. And they're all going to just walk because it's ridiculous. The state of Florida issued a voting registration form to them. And then when they went to go try to vote, they were arrested at the polling place during the primaries. So this is just really low, scummy, low-life behavior. And then DeSantis is walking around like, oh, I'm so pure of spirit and heart, and oh, I love the little children. Bring the little children closer to me. Yeah, that's how weird it seems to me. Anyway, he's a weird dude. And actually, today is 9/11, so I don't even know what to say about that. Um, I think that looking back at all that, I was totally opposed to the war, and of course, I've been opposed to every single war since Vietnam. So, if you're not smart enough to negotiate, you're definitely not smart enough to go and start killing people. But I guess that's the point. Killing people is the point with wars. Why not? Fuck them, kill them. And I guess that's it. The only other thing that I kind of want to bitch about is this new golf tour. And I'm a stone cold Democrat. I've been a Democrat since the first time I voted, which is probably 1972, something like that. Actually, I want to do want to go back to those days because I think it was the first time that marijuana was on the ballot in California. So that got a lot of us to go, and sign up and register. But there was a lot more. It wasn't. There was two McGoverns running. There was Eugene McGovern, and the other McGovern who ended up running against. I guess it was Reagan. Reagan won. So we went from Reagan being, California governor to being a frickin' president. It was just it was like a nightmare. Oh, what a fucking nightmare. Well, I even kind of forget what I was talking about then, but in any case. Oh yeah, the new golf tour. I don't know, it's the Live Tour or some kind of crowd. So apparently this evil golf organization and the people that joined it I'm so disappointed. Although I think I kind of get it. Phil Mickelson was always a dick. I never liked that guy. He's the one who came out when Obama let the tax break that Bush gave everybody. When that 10 years was over and Obama just let it expire and let the tax rate go back up to from 25 to 35% or whatever it was. Well, Phil Mickelson came out and go, well, he did it. He screwed us all. So that's all these rich Republicans. All they care about is how much taxes they have to pay. They're not happy to support their country and pay taxes. They're unhappy that they have to pay taxes to enjoy the fruits that are offered by this country. The roads and the commerce and the fans and the everything else about it. But no, just because he's worth, $50 million, this taxing is really an undue burden on him. Well, apparently he's pissed it a lot of it away, and he's a gambling asshole. But and there's some of these British guys, and Sergio Garcia. Well, I always knew Sergio Garcia was an asshole, But I didn't realize he was a huge fascist, Franco-loving asshole who didn't give a shit about anything but making money. So if he's Spain's representative, fuck you guys. He's a piece of crap. He ain't no Sevi Ballesteros, and goddamn he shouldn't even be in the same breath as Sevi Ballesteros. And also for all you lefties out there that think that golf is terrible, golf is just an unbelievably great game. And it wasn't started by wealthy people. It was started by sheep herders up in Scotland hundreds of years ago. And actually before that, it was a game that was probably, they think, done on the ice in northern Europe. When the rivers froze over in the wintertime, they would cut little holes in the ice and get sticks and have flat rocks and hit them, bam, and go. So then they started using little leather balls and sticks on the dirt, digging a hole, staking a sheep so that the sheep would eat a. That's why you see most of the greens are circular. Because what did they do before lawnmowers? They just tied a sheep so it would eat, make a circle. Well, in any case, what I was going to say about that was I just play municipal golf. My money goes into the tax coffers of my local community. I would never ever in my wildest dreams join or be part of a country club kind of thing. I think they're disgusting. I think they're white supremacist bastions for assholes. And around here, at least in Tallahassee, municipal golf, I'm sure there's some wealthy black dudes that play, some of the fancier courses. There's not that many fancy courses. There's the Capital course. But there's a little course that I play called Jake Gaither. And I haven't played in a long time because I've had some real major medical problems, and probably more than likely I am going to make an attempt to go play golf again, but I doubt very seriously if I'm going to be able to give it hell like I used to. It doesn't matter if I can make it around. If I can make it around 9 holes and I can get off a few good shots here and there, I'll be happy and I'll keep playing. But if I can't even do that, if I can't even make it around 9 holes, I am just going to give up and get rid of my clubs. I mean, I'm in my 70s. I see some of these old farts out there trying like hell. But I don't care about it that much. It's okay. You're just chasing a little white ball around, basically, is what you're doing. And it's telling you what to do, even though you're trying your best to swing at it. All right, enough about that. Enough about golf, Florida. Matt Gaetz sucks. He needs to go. Little Marko is really a piece of crap. I hope Val Demings beats the shit out of him. And somebody needs to just, I guess I can't say it, to, Scott. He's like the worst person. One of the worst. I mean, Rupert Murdoch, Rick Scott, Donald Trump, Crown Prince Whopper Chopper. He's up there in the top, 100 evil people that are destroying and raping the planet and doing it on purpose. They're doing it on purpose. Anyway, that's enough of that shit. Adios. Buenas noches.